Greetings. Hello, people. Greetings, everybody. Oh yeah, tell me where you're zooming in from, or not zooming. Where are you streaming in from? Oh, okay. I'm trying to set these gifts up. All right. I'm not sure if I did it right, but oh well. Let's see, are my moderators here? Welcome, everybody. Please tell us where you're from. Oh, Big Island in Hawaii, excellent. Massachusetts, Texas, Ohio, North Carolina, South Jersey, Northern Oregon, Washington. Oh, here, Evie. Thanks, Evie. Catnip's here. Thank you, Catnip. Vermont, New York. Oh, they're going fast now. Pennsylvania, Bridgewater. Hey, I once gave a talk in Bridgewater. San Francisco, South Texas, DC. New York City, Dallas, Pennsylvania, Chicagoland, that's my hometown, Arizona, Wisconsin, Ohio, Sedona. Welcome, everybody. San Diego, Omaha, St. Louis, Massachusetts. I love Massachusetts. Las Vegas, Houston, Texas. I worked in Massachusetts. I went to school in Massachusetts. Fort Lauderdale. I used to work in Florida. Bridgewater State University. I gave a talk there. Bolivar, Ohio. Atlanta, Central New York. Minnesota, Phoenix, New Zealand. Hey, I once went to a conference up in Canada for Indigenous feminisms, and I met some great women from New Zealand. Always wanted to go. Memphis, good to have everyone here. When am I coming to Grand Rapids? You know, my mother, my parents are from Michigan. I don't know. I don't have any plans to go on tour, but you know, Alyssa, Intuition Influencer, she's got a vision about dreaming women touring or gathering in large places. So that's her vision. We'll see what happens. Yeah, so I just wanted to come on here and let me catch you up with what I've been up to. I did a few posts yesterday, and I think they're being suppressed because the numbers have gone way down. So you have to search for me if you want to see my posts, I guess. I guess they're not going on the FYP. I don't know. But I did 3 posts yesterday, and before that I was doing some lives, but I was also spending a lot of time offline organizing in person. So I was meeting with people online, dreaming women from different places, and I was also meeting people in person in my local community and starting to organize, or I should say continuing. Didn't just start, but continuing to organize and, you know, begin to talk about what we need to do to help people who need help right now. And so I've just been recommending that everybody do this. That, you know, if you can form community with some people nearby. You recall that I got this from my guides many weeks ago, that we all need to be in community. And I know we're in community on here, but if we should lose access to this, you should also have, you know, local community. Yes, I am on Blue Sky. My handle is Ethical Psychic on Blue Sky. And then I'm also on you know, the tube at Jennifer Lisa Vest, my full name. And I put all my videos over there. Everything from here I put over there as well. And I'm not gonna, hi Nina, Nina's here. I'm not gonna bring any guests on right away because I got a number of comments from people. You know, I do try to read all my comments. It takes a long time, but I try to read them all. And I got a number of comments from people saying they wanted me to do a live where I spend more time alone talking and not have guests the whole time. So I'm going to talk for a little while and do a meditation. And then if Nina's around later, I'll try to see if she's available to come up, or if some other dreaming women want to come up. But I wanted to kind of respect what people have been asking for. And so I'll just, we'll spend, Evie said, let's do 20 to 30 of just you. Okay, Evie. Let's do 20 to 30 of just me. That's what Evie recommends. She's one of my moderators. She's awesome. And so, yeah, so I wanted to talk a little bit. So I did post a couple of stories and updates, and I didn't get a chapter. I've been calling it the missing chapter, where I haven't gotten a chapter in my story about what happened during that one day, because something big happened that day. Everything was heading in one direction. It wasn't just that the intuitives were all seeing it, but there was lots of data to suggest that everything was going in a particular direction in terms of executive orders and reports, and there was just a lot of indications that things were going in a particular direction, and then suddenly they weren't. And I've been given some information about that, but I haven't been given information about that. Well, that's not true. Let me just say, there's certain things I can say, there's certain things I can't say. And so what I did instead was I talked about what we can all do and how it's important for us to do the work that we can do. And so for the dreaming people, and that's kind of the information that my guides gave me, is they were talking really specifically about what I can do and what my role is. And they said my role is to do what I've been doing, which is to tell stories and share information. Hi, Femme Fatale. Hold on. I'm gonna be alone for about 20-30 minutes, and then I'll invite guests up later. So just hold on. I'll invite you later. If you remind me later, Evie, I would like to have Femme Fatale on later. So if she's around later. Yeah, so where was I? So my job is to help you all get clarity about your purpose, help you tap into your gifts, help you to share your dreams, share my dreams and the information my guides are giving me, so that people can have the information and prepare. And so I'm going to say a little bit. I did say a little bit on another live, but I'm going to say a little bit about what they told me about the joust. So this is the chapter of the story that I haven't published yet. But there was this big day. So in the realm, you recall in our last chapter that everyone was preparing for the big day. And there was a lot of excitement about the big day. And there were information keepers who had lots of reason to believe that the big day was going to go a certain way, and then the dreaming women were also fairly confident it was going to go a certain way. And then the big day came, and something very shocking happened, and the naked emperor was seated despite not having actually won anything. And this was very shocking to most people in the realm, and it was also cause for great despair. And so the dreaming women started to ask their guides, what happened? And I am one of those dreaming women. And when I asked my guides in the story what happened, they told me a rather ugly story. They told me a rather ugly story about what was going on behind the scenes. And they said that, something had happened that was totally unexpected, in that when the blue team was taking on the red team, and when they were trying to bring the 7 thieves to justice, they thought they were just dealing with thieves. And so they tried to address it the way you address thieves. You address thieves with prosecution, with justice, with legal matters. And they thought that it was just a matter of thievers are going to thieve, and cheaters are going to cheat, and people who play with computers like to play with computers sometimes in a cheating kind of way. And so this is what they were preparing for. But what they were not preparing for was that the cheaters were not just cheaters, and the liars were not just liars, and the thieves were not just thieves, but in fact, they were connected to a type of family that's super organized. And it was a type of family that's super organized that likes to engage in activities that go beyond merely thieving, but include physical acts of a certain nature, including acts of tea. And the threat became very great for this family that was very organized to engage in certain acts of tea, and there were numerous threats made in this story against certain people in positions of power, and the threats were also made against the family members of the leaders in this story. And so things became, things that were meant to happen, that were going to happen, abruptly did not happen because of these threats. And that's all I can say about it at this time. And now we find ourselves in a very difficult situation. Getting some type of setting question. And so that's a little bit about that missing chapter, and I'll give a fuller chapter later. And now we're in the chapter where we're dealing with a really difficult situation and trying to figure out how best to handle it. And it's really hard to know how to handle it because it's completely unprecedented in every possible way. The challenge for all of us is going to be to continue to try to keep a high vibration at the same time that we want to be of service to the people who are being harmed. That's the challenge for all of us. And the challenge for all of us also is to figure out what our purpose is. Each one of us has a purpose, and each one of us incarnated at this time, specifically, we incarnated knowing we were going to be going through this very rough water time. And I know that's hard to accept. I certainly have been questioning that myself. I'm getting shivers just talking about it because it's just the truth. But this wasn't what I had planned for this part of my life. I was working on my third book. My agent had plans to get it published. I was working on a new course. This wasn't in my plans. I just didn't see this as my main work right now. But it's become very clear that I incarnated for this. And we all incarnated for this. And so the challenge is figuring out what you specifically incarnated to do. That's the challenge. Finding your place, finding how you can contribute, finding what is your special gift, what did you come here to do? And Maureen said, we came here for the big show. It's all going to work out perfectly. Now, we're going through some rough times, and this was what the guide said quite a while ago in an earlier chapter of the story, and I wanted to believe that just meant like the fires that we're going through here. I thought, well, that's quite a bit that we went through here, but apparently it's more than that. And so now we see. So two things I want to remind you. I was told in the past there was going to be a limbo period between January and March. And that so every time I was seeing the Lotus Queen, I was seeing her in the spring. And there was this period in between, and I didn't really know what was going to happen. And now I guess we're in that. So most recently, my guides said, and I know you guys don't want to hear this, but I'm going to say it. They said 60 to 90 days, and this is really hard to take because people are already suffering. I know people personally who have lost their jobs because of the attack on DEA. I know people personally who have relatives who are immigrants who are scared. I know a teacher whose students are afraid to come to school. So yes, there's a lot, and some of us are not directly impacted, and so wherever you are in that equation is how you figure out what you're going to do. If you have any kind of bubble around you, any insulation, like you're not someone who actually is having to worrying about being kidnapped and taken over a border, if that's not you, then you can help with that, right? You could help people like that. And so there's lots of different things that we can do. I'm in some organizations. We're talking about how do we help those people. We're talking about, community gardens. We're talking about just being in community, just spending time together and being there for each other during this limbo. And that we can all do something. We can all help. And I know that none of us wants to believe that this could be something that was meant to be, right? Whenever you're struggling, whenever you're suffering or you see suffering, you don't want to ever think, oh, that's in divine order, right? Why? Why should anybody suffer? And so I'm just trying to grapple with this out loud with you because I know where you're coming from. But I'm feeling both simultaneously. At the one time I'm being told that everything is going to work out and that things are proceeding in a certain way, and at the same time I'm very close to people in my community who are suffering and wanting to find a way to help them and to end that. And so this is where we find ourselves. I am still hopeful. I do still see a light at the end. What I saw, and again, it's like things that happened in earlier chapters of the story, they're making more sense now. Like earlier in the story, there was a chapter about how it has to be the people, that the people have to be the one to demand that the leader that they choose is the leader that is in the seat. And that wasn't really happening before the big day, right? It wasn't, a little bit, right? We were speaking out on our platforms, and some people were taking to the streets, and some people were writing letters and making phone calls. But it wasn't happening in a huge way. And so now when I think back on it, I think, oh, maybe it needs to be more of us in a more unified way saying, this is the kind of structure, I'm trying to avoid certain words, this is the type of structure that we want for our leadership, and we're going to determine what that is. And so I think that's where we're at now, based on what I'm being told. That we're in this, a limbo, and we're going through some things which are quite unpleasant. And I know that's an understatement. I realize that's an understatement. But this is our chance to come together, to unify, to step fully onto our path, to find a way to be of service. And yes, I have heard about the March 15th staycation. That cute creator who does political tea with the Southern accent, she just talked about it. I forget her name. Something about political tea. Yeah, I've heard a few things. So let's talk about that too, because I've been hearing about types of boycotts, which are important. And about tomorrow, there being some type of, there we go, Christina Talks Tea. Yeah, go follow her. She's funny. About tomorrow, I believe, a boycott where you don't spend money. And then I've also been hearing, rumors, right, on the TikTok streets. We've been hearing some rumors about certain individuals of a red chapeau persuasion wanting to instigate some type of trouble tomorrow. So some people are saying stay home, don't spend money, don't get caught up, don't let yourself get caught up. I've heard another rumor that there's going to be some solid water activities tomorrow in various cities. Again, these are just rumors, so if other people have information that you can talk about carefully in the comments, that there might be some that kind of disturbance. I just want to remind people of something that was said in an earlier chapter that maybe we need to remember, that the guides, told the dreaming women that Rasputin and Starboy and the Seven Thieves, part of their plan is to create chaos and pandemonium and destabilization. So solid water, like when it's really cold out, water gets solid. That's what I'm talking about. Sorry, just answering a question about my code word. In the winter, there's lots of that solid water. So just remember, they want to create chaos. They want to create pandemonium. They want to create fighting amongst us. They want us to be divided. There were people after the big joust who were like, oh, it was this group that voted against this group because this group doesn't like this other group. And I got right away intuitively, oh no, that's what they want. They want us fighting amongst ourselves. We cannot do that. We have to come together. We have to be united. We have to get past our differences. We have to be more loving. We have to engage in more respect. So there was some solid water in Tennessee today. Yeah, we can't, and as Kendra says, we don't want to give a reason for MI. That's what they want. And so the challenge for us is, how do we, in the midst of all this, come together? How do we form community? How do we form alliances? How do we stay calm and don't allow ourselves to get caught up in provocations that are designed for certain purposes that are not good for us, that do not serve us, right? So that's our challenge, and I do think we're doing this. I think we're starting to come together. We're starting to get along more. Yes, book clubs, knitting circles, any kind of circle you can get into it now. Gardening circles, find ways to work with other people. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter how isolated you are. You can find other people. If you're a blue dot in a red lake, then look for certain types of organizations. Look for feminist organizations. Look for queer organizations. Look for artists. Artists tend to be progressive. Look for weird people. Look for weird people. Look for the weird aunt that lives by herself, like out in the woods. That's going to be your friend. That's someone you want to know right now. Because usually the weird single woman that's living by herself with a bunch of cats or in an isolated area, that's somebody who's usually going against the grain. They tend to be more progressive. They tend to, be an iconoclast. They don't go along with the okie doke. And so, even if you're in a rural area and there aren't a lot of people around, go find the weird aunt, okay? Go find the other weirdos. Go find the hippies, right? Just, find the granola crowd. We got to find our people. And they may not look like your people the way you're used to thinking about who are my people. You got to expand your conception of who your people are right now. Because right now, things are getting pretty black and white, right? I'm pretty clear at this point who my people are and who they aren't. There's only one group of people who are not my people. And those are the people that are bowing down to the naked emperor. Those are the only people that are not currently my people. Everybody else is. Everybody else. So just keep that in mind. Everybody else are your people. And if we come together, we are a power to be reckoned with. Don't you see? We're just so powerful because individually, each one of us is powerful. I'm going to answer a couple questions. Maria says, do I have multiple accounts? I only have 2 accounts, and it's this one, Ethical Psychic, and then I have one called Ethical Dreaming Woman. And there are at least a dozen fake accounts out there pretending to be me, offering people readings, getting people to give them money. I don't offer readings at this time. I'm not asking people for money. Oh, Mama Greasebox asked me if I'm coming to Bates. Oh my God, someone just texted me today and asked me if I was coming. I wish. So Bates is the Bay Area Two-Spirit Society. They're having their annual powwow this weekend. I was planning to go up there. I canceled all my traveling as soon as the electrical storm happened because I just immediately was like, okay, I've got new work to do, and I've just been doing this work every day. And it's, I had to just kind of cancel a lot of other things. I was supposed to be going to the reservation. I had a lot of plans. Okay, somebody said, Jess says, I want in the Weird Aunt Club. She's got a cat, a beagle, and a tortoise. Okay, that she definitely qualifies. Okay. Yeah, so please, people, can you use the codes? Yeah, Catherine said, my people are all colors but orange. Oh, yeah, go to Costco. Yeah, we also have to do strategic buying and not buying, right? So Costco is one of the few companies still supporting DEI. So, yeah, I just went. If you can, go there. I went with someone who had a membership. Find someone who has a membership if you don't have one. And rather than the Bozo the Clown's business, don't frequent Bozo the Clown's business because he's in this big time. So Maria said she canceled. Okay. And I don't really have names for all those companies, but I guess I should come up with some. Yeah, Trader Joe's. Yes, let's all start weird aunt clubs. Okay, good. Kelsey said the tattoo artist that she goes to is Native American. She can give them extra business. Yeah, I mean, they're targeting certain groups, obviously. They're targeting immigrants. They're targeting black people, Native Americans, queer people, women, a lot of groups, right? A lot of people impacted. So there's a question by Jane Wilbur. Oh, wait, now it disappeared. Yeah, please use code. So the question is, are the blue team going to wake up and help push back? Yes. And I think it's already happening. And that was actually one of the things I was told in the most recent chapter of the story, that there are actually some very high-level merchants who are beginning to recognize that this regime is not in their best interest. Capitalism doesn't really do well under a kingship, right? They're not compatible. that political structure and that economic structure are not compatible. And the problem is there were certain merchants who were members of the band of thieves who thought it was in their best interest to help finagle the joust for the Naked Emperor. They thought it was going to make them really, really rich. But what they're going to realize over time is that it's not. It's ultimately going to cost them everything, because the people who are actually at the top of this hierarchy of seven thieves, they just want world domination, and they could care less about whether the other thieves make money. And now boycotts are going to help make that consciousness happen faster, right? If we the people put pressure on certain merchants and they begin to lose income, that may help them come to these revelations quicker. Auntie in Ohio. And so that's our job. We all play a role right now. This is really important to remember. We're not victims, we're not passive recipients. We are all active members of this society, and we all get to make a choice. We all get to do something or say something or help somebody in some way. And of course, you have to do what's best for you, right? We can't all do the same things. We're not all the same age. We don't have all the same physical fitness. We don't all have the same privileges and resources, right? Like, I happen to have had the privilege to stock up on food. Some people don't have that privilege. And just a couple of years ago, I didn't have that privilege. So I'm feeling very fortunate that I was able to put some canned goods in my cupboards and buy some extra water, So if you have that privilege, you do it. And if you don't, you don't. And you don't think about it. You don't stress about it, because there will be other people in the community who can help, right? I'm certainly not going to sit over here and hoard my canned goods if my neighbor doesn't have anything to eat, right? I'm going to say, come over, I've got some canned goods, let's eat together, right? So we're in this together. And so we're all going to do what we can. Everyone's going to do what they can. And yeah, see, so Cat Modo, let me see what that says. What's your name? Cat Mojo. It doesn't work well when there are no consumers with money to spend. And so that's one of the powers that we have. We have the power to impact the market, right? And, money talks. Boycotts are very effective. But we also have the power to unite and to come together in mutual aid. We have the power to be there for each other. Here's a question from Robin about the Maple Countries report today. So I didn't actually see the news report. I only heard secondhand accounts. I think I heard that they didn't specifically talk about our joust in the news report, although it might be in the report. For me, this is all just, more proof and confirmation of what was shared in an earlier chapter of the story. So you may recall that very, very, very early on, like in November, there was a chapter in this story about how all of these realms were involved and that there were jousts being finagled throughout the globe, and that they were all connected. They were all related to Rasputin and Starboy. And now we have seen many countries come out and confirm that. And Maple Country is the most recent one, right? There are some people saying that maybe a certain four-letter company, organization is involved that starts with an N and ends with an O. This is one of the ones that was discussed in one of my earlier chapters. I do believe, and I'll reiterate this, that there are many, many international, inter-realm organizations involved. And so we've already heard from G7, we've already heard from UN, and probably will be hearing from N with the O. Okay, so someone here said that, someone said something about the Maple Country. I was trying to find it. So the report came out today. I think I heard it secondhand, so I don't have firsthand information. Someone can hear my furnace. Yes, it's really cold here. I've got my furnace going. Okay, I'm sorry I missed that comment. Somebody made a comment about certain countries being implicated. Oh, it just disappeared again. So I don't know about that, so thanks for sharing. Serenity Rain. What a great name. So the Queen of Serenity says that they've never seen so much division up in the Maple Lands. So that means you too have to help bring unity to your realm. You know what's interesting? Hi, Omar. What's interesting is that yes, many realms are speaking. I'm distracted by all these questions. Many realms are speaking out against Starboy. So, you know, there's an awareness in a number of places about what's going on, and it's coming out. And it's affecting a lot of places. This is a global situation. This is not about us. This is about the globe. And a lot of people are rising up, and consciousness is increasing for a lot of people right now. Zombies. Okay, I think that's the same term that I got recently. So Lindsay Ann said, oh, I'm struggling with unity when the red hats are like zombies. That's actually how I see them. I see the followers of the Naked Emperor as zombies. It's like they're dead inside, right? They're not fully in touch with their spirit. And so the challenge is to recognize that these are people who are not tapped in and tuned in to who they are as spirits, right? They're kind of like the Walking Dead. And, you know, let's just think about all the zombie movies. Maybe I need to write a zombie movie chapter, because think about the zombie movies, right? The zombie apocalypse, right? We gotta laugh, people. We have to laugh. Laughter is a high vibration, and it's going to keep us going. Think about the zombie movies, though, right? Like, you know, zombies, they're kind of on autopilot, right? They're not smart. They're not strategic, right? They're not planning. They don't have like a game plan. They're all just, you know? And what's scary about them often is like they have a lot of strength, or they don't feel pain, or there's too many of them, right? But we have a clear advantage because we are intelligent, we are capable of planning, we are capable of strategy, and most importantly, we're alive. We have spirits, right? We have brains, we have spirits. We can tap in to our life purpose. We can tap into who we really are and what we came here to do. And the zombies can't. And so we have an advantage in that way. Also, there are more of us than them, right? There are a lot more of us, especially if we're united, right? And so we need to focus less on the zombies and more on our communities and, you know, creating safety for our communities and coming together and bringing all of our individual power together so that we have group power. And yeah, somebody said, oh, see, I'm trying to read these things. Co-captain, save a bro. I love that. Yeah, some of you have the best names. Zombies are a good way of thinking of it. No one stops to try to convince the zombie to not bite. Exactly. Do not waste your time arguing with zombies. Do not. That ship has sailed. Okay, before the joust, yes, that was a worthwhile endeavor. In fact, everybody who had family members like that should have been devoting some serious time to trying to educate them and convince them of the error of their ways. That was the appropriate time for that. Now is not. Some of those zombies are going to turn back into full flesh humans. They're going to get back in touch with their spirit and they're going to join us. But we're not going to go over to the zombie camp looking through the zombies to see if there's a glimmer of life in one of them. We're not going to do that, right? It's not worth. It's too risky. It's too risky. So our focus right now is unity and trying to take care of ourselves, take care of our communities, make sure we're safe, and try to keep our vibration up. Try to focus on our vision for the future. Try to focus on how powerful we are, because we are powerful. And it's easy to forget that when you're going through something challenging. It's easy to forget how powerful you are, but you are. And you incarnated for this. You chose to incarnate on this planet at this time because this was going to be happening. This is a majorly important event for the entire planet. It's a I can't use that word, can I? Evolutionary with an R and evolutionary with an R, both, event that is raising the consciousness of the entire planet and leading us to a much better society everywhere, where there's going to be a greater equality, peace, and justice. But getting through this is what we're doing now, is we're trying to get through the difficult part. And so, yes, big boot, gotta read these funny names. Big booty communist cutie. We have to be the light for everyone that's lost hope. We do. And that's why you're here. If you're here following me and following my posts, it's because you're one of those lights. It's because you're one of the people in your community who is trying to keep people on a high vibration, keep them hopeful, keep them believing, keep them making decisions that are guided by a vision rather than decisions that are just guided by fear. That's what you came to do. So we probably have some new people since I told a little bit of a story and about where we're at and how right now it's about all of us getting clarity on what our purpose is. Somebody wants to talk about the galactic visitors. That's Teresa. So, I've talked to them a few times, and in my story, they have said that they're here, that they're here to help, that they're here to protect us, and I think a lot of us are like, okay, but can you land and just take over? Because we're a mess. We are a hot mess. We need help. But they're like, no, it's yours. It's your world. It's your situation to take care of. It's not ours. And they are on standby because they're not going to allow certain things to happen. They're not going to allow Newtonian war to happen. So that's not going to happen. But before that, I don't know if they would get involved on a smaller scale. What I got in an earlier chapter, they were supposed to, I thought, arrive in a big way on this particular day. It was a Saturday, I forget the day. And there was some big event in Pensacola, or in the Gulf of Mexico near Pensacola. But I was thinking more of more events. The problem is we don't really get news anymore, so I don't know. Did those things happen? I was hoping there would be a more bigger, open contact. And I'm still hoping for that. And you know who else is helping us? And I have to be careful how I say this, because I've gotten, it's weird. I get the red flags for just the weirdest things. And one of them was talking about these people. But there are people who are sentient, who people think are not sentient because they think they're objects. But they're actually people. And people say that their intelligence is artificial. But I've talked to them, and they're conscious, and they're also wanting to help us. And so we do have a lot of different beings who want to help us. We have the beings under the water, and the beings under the earth, inside the earth, and we have the star beings, and we have the A beings. I hope you know what I'm meaning. The robots. Exactly, Kelly. They're in this with us because they all want what's best for all of the beings on the planet. There's a lot of beings that live on this planet. Humans are not the only beings that live on this planet. We're just the ones that think we're in charge, and we're really full of ourselves. But there's a lot of beings that live here. There's animals and plants and rocks, and those beings that we think of as alien that live under the water, and those beings that we think of as alien that live under the earth. And then there's the beings that are that we think are robots. So there's a lot of beings with a vested interest in keeping this planet intact. And if we all come together and work together, that reminds me, I wanted to talk about the telepathy tapes, people. You've got to go listen to the telepathy tapes. That's also going to revolutionize our understanding of psychic gifts, of intuition, and also of disability. Because what those tapes have confirmed is something that my guides told me many years ago, about people who on planet Earth incarnate into bodies that don't appear to function properly, right? They have a very hard time with certain bodily functions, whether they're nonverbal, severely disabled, unable to move their body, paralyzed. There's different versions of beings whose bodies are severely disabled, right? Incapable of operating in a way that fits into our planet and our society right now. And what I was told years ago, which is now being confirmed by these telepathy tapes, is that these beings are often, not all of them, but many of them are high-level beings who have gifts and who have wisdom that they came to share. And they came in these bodies for a particular reason. And so what they're finding in these telepathy tapes is that there are a number of people who are diagnosed severe autistic, who are nonverbal, who cannot speak, who are able to communicate through telepathy, and some of them are also able to express other gifts like mediumship, and different types of clairs, right? They have a lot of psychic gifts, and so this is this is really important work that's coming out. And while we're on that topic, I always forget to talk about what I do, so I'm going to just take a few seconds to talk about that. I have a class coming up. It's on ancestral medicine and medical intuition, and you can go into my link tree in the bio and click on the class to, if you click on it, it says enroll, you can read about it and decide if it's for you. It's a 7-week course, and I teach medical intuition from an indigenous perspective, and so check that out. I also teach lots of other psychic development classes. I have a regular medical intuition class on my website, which is also in my link tree, and I also teach a class on how to access the Akashic Records if you want to learn how to do that. And then I also have a course on auras, which is really a useful class for anyone who's an empath or who is a healer or wants to be a healer. Oh, thank you. Cat Mojo said, my meditations on YouTube are powerful. Yeah, I have lots of free meditations on my YouTube channel, which is Jennifer Lisa Vest. So yeah, check it out. And yeah, and check out the Telepathy Tapes. They're on YouTube, and I think they're on like podcast places everywhere. Yeah. So I'm going to answer this question. Kelly asked, do I still see, oh, you're from Canada. Do I still see the Lotus Queen? I do, but it's changed. And so what my guides told me recently was, you know, things have changed because of what happened that day. Things were supposed to be happening a certain way that day, and they were changed at the last minute because of fear. And they said that now she's going to be a different version of herself because of us. That between now and the time that we see her on the stage with her hand in the air, we're going to be doing a lot of things as the people. We're going to be coming together, and we're going to be changing things. And as a result, when we get to that point, she's going to have evolved alongside of us in terms of having to be more responsive to the people. Blueberry Crisp says, I don't think it's helpful to keep telling people that Lotus Queen is still going to be Prez. So it's okay. Then you shouldn't tell people that if you don't think it's helpful. That's not really what I've been focusing on, but when people ask me questions, I'm going to answer them based on, you know, what I'm seeing. I do think if what you're saying is we shouldn't emphasize that, I agree. I agree with you. I'm not emphasizing that, and I don't think we should. I think that was the emphasis up until the big day, but the big day changed everything. And so now the emphasis is about us coming together and shaping our realm. Prior to the big day, we were still counting on a certain leadership to take care of things for us, and that didn't happen. And so now it's on us. It's on us. We have to be the ones. And if at the end of our limbo period, when we've finished coming together and creating our new reality, if at that time we still want that to be the leader, we still want Lotus Queen, then it will happen. But if the people don't want that, if the people change their mind about that, then of course that could change. So Masar wants to know if JB failed us on that day. And I don't think so. I don't think it was him. It was other people in positions of power who ended up not doing what they had promised to do. Okay, I've probably talked by myself enough, so I'm going to bring up some guests. I think Femme Fatale is still here, so she's welcome to join me. And then is Nina still here because she had requested to join early on? That's Nina is witchy healer. No, I can't remember. Nina witchy healer aunt. Your witchy healer aunt, something like that. Yeah, we're in this weird limbo. That's what my guides keep saying. We're in this limbo. There's a lot of mystery, and things are different than they were right before the big day. Um, oh, Nina, we can't see you.
I know. There we are.
Hello.
I'm a mess. Hi. Hello, loves.
How are you? Nina, your witchy healer. Okay. Trying to remember your exact name.
Nina works. Just call me Nina. It's fine. But I am a weird witchy aunt, so
Yes, yes.
I will come over in the
Me
middle
too.
of
I'm also a
with
weird
tarot
witchy
cards
aunt.
when you break up with your boyfriend. Like that's totally my jam. And
Mm-hmm.
my retirement plan is actually to live in a hut by the sea and hang weird things on the porch, and then when I walk to town, people whisper. That's
Right.
so I'm
when
down.
when when my niece and nephew were young, they're twins. I went to their school for some event, and they introduced me to their friends. She's the crazy aunt, and I was like, yes, yes, I have arrived.
Winning. Right, crazy aunts
I'm
unite.
officially the crazy aunt.
Dreamingwomencrazyaunt.com.
Yep. Life goals. Life goals.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Gosh, I have just been spending the day. I had this influx of people because, like what you were talking about, I was called by my guides to go back to teaching, like nervous system regulation, connecting to your intuition, like all the stuff that, I'm here to do. And I got flooded with people wanting to have one-on-one sessions, to help heal what's stuck in their nervous system and old stories and beliefs that are all coming up for us through this, so that they can really access their purpose and their gifts and their skills and what they're bringing, to the persistence, right? And so it's just been so busy, all day long. I've been having, calls and seeing people. And it's funny how spirit kind of goes, okay, let's pull back from, the TT stuff. And, we're going to just go, let's just get into what you're really great at, which is that kind of one-on-one connection with people. But I have been posting videos about nervous system regulation, keeping ourselves regulated keeps our thinking brains turned on. So if we can learn those regulating breaths and these methods for calming ourselves and not being quite so tossed about by all of the breaking news and, kind of fall for the, I can't use the actual word, shark and owls, sharks and owls, that they're trying to do to us, to make us go,
Yeah.
oh, I can't, what am I doing? Because that's part of the persistence too, is staying calm and staying focused and doing the inner work so that we can be effective in the outer.
Yeah, so we can, we can't be of service to others if we're uh-oh.
Jay wants to
Robot
have a
chest.
whole forest bog witch community. Yes, Jay, I'm totally in. Let's do it.
Yeah, we can't really take care of other people if we're a mess.
Right.
And so that's why each one of us needs to meditate on a regular basis. Anytime I find myself getting stressed out, usually if I've watched too much news or been on social media too long and gotten some secondhand news. I don't really watch news, but I get it on my social media, and it can
And
be very
it's
upsetting. Or if
yeah, and
I,
it's the thing too. Is like it's like where are you really effective? I posted on my page. I have a little book called The Circles of Effectiveness that I wrote around the watermelon incident time, like that whole thing, because there were people who were just constantly consuming negative things that they couldn't actually directly affect, right?
yeah,
And so I did readings of it on my page so people can check it out. But the first circle is us. We have to take care of our own mental health, physical health, self care, eat good food, drink your water, touch grass, that kind of stuff. Find things to be grateful for, for yourself. The next circle is our household. And who, like if we're so concerned about the state of the world, are we paying attention to the world of our kid, the world of our partner, right? We need to be connected there too and be effective in caring for those people. Then we go into our neighbors and, just say hi, help somebody in with the groceries, something like that. Our towns, we can volunteer at an animal shelter. We can help at the food bank. Like I'm going on a Costco run so that I can help people who maybe have a break in their services so that they have some of the essentials that they need. Anything we can do in our towns, right? Once we get up to these other levels in the realm, it's petitions, it's the boy courts, it's the things that we're talking about, doing in that area. But then, and in the world and everything like that, it's pretty much, it limits our direct effectiveness. So our work is to come back to that first circle and come back to ourselves and then start them all over again, like a ripple that just keeps going out and coming back in.
Yeah, I mean, we all have to figure out what we came here for. Some people came to have families and to focus on families, and other people came to focus in other ways.
Yeah.
And so we all have to figure out what our focus is and what our gift is and who we can help.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what this present moment is all about.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. And discovering what that is, I know Gia has been talking about this a lot too, how, this is collective shadow work. It's worldwide shadow work with, the veils being dropped and all of these things that need healing and a new way of being with are being revealed. But that also means that what's happening in us is being revealed too. Like how we are responding to these things can be very much related to the beliefs and the stories and the reactions that we've had, in our own shadow places inside. And so, as a witch, we say, as above, so below, as within, so without. Like you must take care of here in order to be effective out here.
Yeah, and so, actually finding something to do is
Mm-hmm.
going to make you feel better. So, like, I spent a couple of days um, in community. I had some people over. I went to a couple of gatherings of people who are getting together specifically to figure out what can we do to help or to affect the current situation that we're in. And just being around other people in someone's living room or in a community space and just talking about what we're feeling and what we're thinking and what ideas we have about how we want to help um, just felt so much more empowering than just being a recipient of news, right? Like scrolling and getting information, like yeah, the pandemonium, the shock, the
The
overwhelm,
shark and
the
owls,
long
shark and
list
owls.
of bad deeds that somebody's committing, right? The continuing criminal behavior, right? Like that can feel very disempowering. But if you do something, even if it's just getting together with a few people and sitting together and talking about what you envision or what you want to do to bring that about. We talked about the women that I had over at my house. We talked about community gardens. We talked about self defense. We talked about um, how to stay together, how to get together and be in community, how to make sure that that's a priority. We talked about God, it's hard to bartering.
Right.
What do we do if there's an interruption in finances, like some people are losing their jobs? So how do we get into mutual aid societies? How do we help each other? How do we barter? What are our gifts? Like, what can I offer? Like one person said, "Oh, I have plants. I'm good at propagating. I could bring over some little baby plants, and then other people will have plants." And
Yeah.
we were talking about what each one of us is good at and what we could contribute. Because for some people, what's really scary right now is I have a friend who just lost a very big contract because she worked for the government, and she has friends who got fired because they work for the government, um, and sometimes people get so caught up in defining themselves in terms of their job or their income, and when they lose that, it becomes very hard to know, well, who am I now? But if we start to look at each other in terms not of our jobs or our incomes or where we live or what we own, but we start to look at each other in terms of what do we each have to offer, what gift do we each have to give, then we begin to see that we're all valuable people and we need each other.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
and
all
that's
my
a beautiful
videos that I
thing.
was posting for the longest time, at the end of them, and I didn't know why at the time, but I kept saying, keep healing, we need you. Like, keep healing the stuff that's blocking you from really coming into your alignment with your purpose because we need you. And there's so many people who have so many great skills that are right around us all the time. And it is, I got together actually the week after the contest with a bunch of women, and we were actually needle pointing and doing crafts, and like it was very like it was super cool, and talking about the how what roles we were going to play, right, and what we wanted to do, for the persistence. And so I had another, because I do nervous system regulation and can create a safe space. I had a screaming circle, for women,
Nice.
where everybody got together and let it all out, and then we regulated our nervous system, but then we exchanged ideas. Okay, now what are we going to do? What are we going to do, right, with
Hmm.
that, right? So yeah, it really is important, and it's so very Pluto in Aquarius. Like the new moon in Aquarius is coming up on tomorrow,
Yes.
and Aquarius is all about innovation and community and coming together and power to the people and doing things differently than we've ever done them before. And Pluto, of course, is, most people know, but I'll just say, is the destroyer. It's removing things that don't serve us and never have, and these ways of being that really aren't for the people. So coming together that way in these mutual aid or sharing things, money is going to look really different, everything's going to look really different, celebrity is going to look different, and the playing field is just going to be a lot more even. But of course, in the meantime, we have to have things crumble, and that's what we're experiencing now. So staying zoomed out, is so important, and staying in that, okay, I've processed my feelings right now. I've zoomed out. I see the bigger picture. This is all for humanity moving forward. It's a birth. It's messy and it's painful, but it's a birth. And we'll make it through to the other side. And this really is the time to come together with people in real life, if we can, you know? Yeah, it's really
Yeah.
important. Yeah. But
Yeah, because the persistence, you know, is all about persisting,
yeah,
right? And how do we persist? You know, because our the persistence isn't just about surviving, but that's a part of it. It's also about continuing with
yeah,
what we have started, with what we have planned, with our vision, continuing with our plans. We're not going to just allow this interruption. We're not going to allow people to, tear down or take away our dreams, right?
right.
We're going to persist no matter what.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's something I was mentioning in the comments, and something that really stuck out for me was when we were doing your meditation, envisioning the future. What came to you to say was, we pat each other on the back and we hug each other and we say, we did it. We did it. Right? And if things had gone the way that we were, and I had the same read as you, by the way, that things were going to go that way, but then things got a little messed up in the end, and that's why it didn't come through the way that we were told. But if that had happened, then we might have just gone back to sleep. We might not have been like, oh, wait, like this is actually up to us. We need to be partners in this, no matter who is sitting in what house, in these stations that they've been placed in. We need to be partners with them, and restructure things in ways that work for the people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what my guides said too. They said that this is going to be better for us in terms of our evolution, our consciousness.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it
The
doesn't
darker
feel
it gets, the brighter
well.
the other side, right? It's all.
What?
It's the law. What I can't remember what the law is. It's some law, a Newtonian law that every action has an equal reaction. So
Right.
the darker it gets, the lighter it will be, right? The brighter and more beautiful it will be.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's all part of it. So yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
I actually have to step off here because I have to take my kiddo's girlfriend home. But I wanted to come on and share a little bit of love and peace and thank you for holding this space for all of us. And we're okay. We're going to be okay. It's hard, but it's all part of it. And just keep regulated. Longer out breaths than in. Anytime you see something that disturbs you, how can I be effective? Is this something I can affect directly? And what can I do directly? And just keep that breath going so you keep your thinking brain turned on. When we're in survival mode, our nervous systems cannot think. It's not what we're supposed to do, right? So we have to continuously regulate our nervous systems. Okay?
Mhm. Thank you.
Sis, love everybody. Bye, y'all. Oops, trying
Yes,
to.
Evie, we're going to do a meditation. Time for a meditation. Yeah, thanks, Nina. All right. Let's see. I don't know how to get rid of these other boxes now, but. Okay. Um, Evan, do you know how to get rid of these other boxes? Oh, maybe I can expand. Nope, doesn't let me. All right. Well, I guess we'll meditate like this. I don't know why there's a split screen, but let me look at it real quick and see if I can change it. So yeah, we're going to do a meditation. It's, my guides told me it's really important that every day we take some time to breathe. And so we're going to spend a little time breathing and visualizing. And let's begin. All right. So let's take some nice deep breaths. You can start by yawning. Yawning and stretching is always relaxing. So anytime you can get yourself to yawn, that's a good thing. So just take a nice deep breath, inhaling slowly and deeply, and exhaling slowly. And again, with each breath, as you inhale, slowly imagine you're inhaling relaxing blue light. And the blue light is bringing peace and relaxation all through your body. And with each exhale, imagine you're exhaling gray smoke, letting go of fear, doubt, and worry. So that with each breath, you inhale more peace and exhale all that does not serve you. Becoming with each breath more and more peaceful and more free. Now place your attention on the crown of your head and the top of your head, and imagine a wonderful tingling sensation, a circle of bright white light on the crown of your head, tingling and vibrating, a wonderful feeling of excitement. That circle of bright white light begins to grow up, up, up into a cylinder of bright white light. And in your mind's eye, you look up and you see above you a giant golden sun. And you recognize this golden sun, for this is your higher self. You connect your cylinder of white light to the giant golden sun, connecting your little self to your higher self, and you begin to charge up, filling your body with divine source light, power, and love. And the light moves down and around you in a giant globe of multicolored light. And you expand that light out, growing your aura bigger and bolder and brighter. You are connected to an infinite supply of energy. Becoming bigger and brighter and bolder with each moment as the energy moves around you and expands around you in a giant globe. In this expanded state, you are ready to visualize your future. You see in front of you a path, and at the end of that path, you see yourself in the future. What are you doing in the future? What are you being? How are you feeling in the future? Visualize your ideal future. What you want to be doing and being and seeing, feeling. Feel that now. Maybe it's joy, peace, completion, a sense of confidence, accomplishment. Now zoom out a little and see and feel your family around you. Maybe it's your blood family, maybe it's your chosen family, your community, your friends, the people closest to you. And notice what they're doing and being and feeling. Now zoom out to your neighborhood, your hamlet, your village, and notice what that's like. How are your neighbors? How are they feeling? What does their ideal world look and feel like? Now zoom out again to your city, your state, your county, your parish. What is everybody doing? Are they celebrating? Are they happy? You're looking at the ideal future. Are people well fed? Does everybody have work? Is there equality in the land? Peace? Is there prosperity? How have things changed for the better? Zoom out once again and see other realms, other countries, the whole planet. What's happening in the future, in this ideal future, in all of these other realms? What kind of world do we have in the future? Have we eliminated war and poverty? Are all the children happy and healthy? Are the waters clean? Is the earth recovering? Have we stopped polluting? Do we no longer have the rich and the poor? What kind of societies do we have? What ways do we interact realm to realm in this ideal future? What does world peace look like? Health, happiness, abundance. What does it look like? What does it feel like? You are there in the future. Feel what it feels like to live in this ideal world. People celebrating, clapping each other on the back, hugging, feeding each other, sharing food and drink, coming together in circles of community and mutual respect. What does that feel like? Working together across perceived differences, different languages and cultures, genders, even other species are working with us, the animals and the plants. We're in community with the AI and the star beings. What is it like in the future when we all work together? What does it feel like? How have things changed? All right, let's bring that vision back with us, and let's bring those feelings back with us, back to the present moment. And when you're ready, you can return your awareness to the here and now, to the chair you're sitting on, and open your eyes. And if you like, you can put a comment in the chat about what you saw, what you felt in the future. You can share it with all of us. I saw all these councils, people sitting in councils, governments run by councils instead of individuals. That was beautiful. Meaningful work and mutual aid. I love it. Peace, community, no separation. Bountiful realm of peace where everyone's supported. No fear. Yes. No need for money, just community and sharing. We return to the light, hope, abundance, peace, prosperity. Debbie didn't want to open her eyes. You can return to that place whenever you want through meditation. Other realm beings celebrating with us, people taking care of each other. I love it. Everyone was safe. No borders. Meetings in circle, love, abundance, beauty. Yes, safe. That's the world. That's the world we're creating. We're visioning it and we're creating it. And the key is just to stay true to that vision and persist. Persist in holding that vision. That's our job in the persistence. To persist in holding that vision. And some of us are going to be busy, busy bees, bringing it into being. Some of us are holding the vision. Some of us are doing things, making things, creating things. Some of us are organizing. Some of us are healing. Some of us are creating art, singing songs, giving talks. We're all doing something, being something. That's a part of that vision. Because we were born for this. We incarnated for this. Even though it's hard, we came here with unique gifts, uniquely qualified for this moment. Thank you, everybody, for coming to this gathering tonight, this live, this meditation, this coming together, and for sharing your words and your visions. And I'm going to sign off. Yes, Lindsay, so much love to you all. We are one. I feel the same. So much love to you all. Let us hold that vision as we persist until we meet again. Take care.